Hi, I'm Jake Johnson. We're here today with Pam Warren, and Pam is the General Manager and Vice President for Universal Orlando's production group. Pam, thank you for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you.
I was hoping we could start off today talking a little bit about your background and some of your past experiences and jobs leading up to this point with Universal.
Oh, it'd be my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me today. I have a nice history with Orlando and had the opportunity to work from radio and television to post-production and ultimately working for Universal starting in 1996 in their marketing department. So I've had about 12 years of history with Universal now.
And what's some of your current like day-to-day activities and things that you're doing with Universal today?
Well, that changes day to day. As Vice President and General Manager, we not only house productions that come into the studios, television, film, a wide variety of different media. We also house 53 production companies and production services companies. So I may be working on packaging a film, or I may be working on the air conditioning in the vendor building. It can change from day to day.
I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about your company's website and how that plays a role in the overall process of what you're doing with the group.
Important piece. Let me backtrack just a little bit. The Universal Studios Florida Production Group, which I manage, is part of Universal Orlando, which is part of what's known as the Universal Parks and Recreation Group under the NBC Television or NBC Universal umbrella. We're owned by General Electric, so not unlike many corporate America businesses, we are part of a larger group, and that's just given us just great diversity in our industry. So being part of the NBC family has been a really nice boost for the production industry in Central Florida. So we obviously tap into a lot of the resources from our larger company. Specifically to the production group, however, we marry ourselves with Universal Studios Hollywood. As you can imagine, there's facilities out there that have been there historically for many, many years, and producers are very aware of the facilities in Hollywood, not necessarily so much in Florida. So having that association with the studios in Hollywood and the history attached to that has certainly helped us get on the map. Although we have been in production services business here in Central Florida for almost 20 years. But the website itself has been a design with our Universal Studios Hollywood. So a producer visiting our site will have a chance to visit the studios in Hollywood or in Florida. So there's obviously an opportunity for comparison.
Yeah, I was definitely going to touch on that as far as having that NBC and Universal brand name awareness out there. I'm sure that definitely helps out your group.
Without a doubt. And we not only fall under universalstudios.com, which is our main site, we're under NBC Universal or NBCU.com, and Universal Orlando is presence as well. So we try to drive to universalstudios.com, which then again is more of a more pure production site. And I think we've asked our clients for many years, you know, what's a natural place for you to find us, and it's the word studios. So we tend to try to drive to universalstudios.com, which is the company's main page.
And what sort of things do you do to drive that traffic as far as email blasts, newsletters, industry trade shows, industry portals, things like that?
That's changing, you know. Obviously we all felt initially, and it wasn't that long ago that we had to have a website. You know, it really wasn't that long ago. And today we realize that it's just imperative and that we probably don't need much more in the form of any kind of printed material if you continue to update and keep your site fresh. We're going through a complete redo of the site right now, which is overdue, but I think at the same time it's the perfect time, because we've been able to talk to our clients, find out what their needs were, and re-look at our website specifically. So we started out with national advertising, and so every ad that we would produce had, you know, universalstudios.com, kept driving it to the website as well. But we also chose to do a newsletter. We still felt like the producers wanted to know what we were doing and have the chance to see it in a newsletter form. So we still do a newsletter, which is kind of our, what's new on the website, drive them to the website, but it still gives them something to get in the mail as well. So, that's our tool as our direct mail. We also do an internet form of a newsletter called the Backlot News, and that's specifically another way of targeting our audiences back to our website, but it's an informational newsletter as to what's happening on the backlot.
Okay, and then from there, your industry seems to be a very close-knit industry where kind of everyone knows everyone or knows of everyone. Do you do a lot of industry trade shows and just things within the industry as far as driving traffic to your website and things like that?
We do. Universal Studios here in Florida is, obviously, we have a very large theme park. That's the main business of the company here, and that's Universal Orlando. The production division is one of the for-profit business centers within the company, and our business is purely production, but it is associated with the theme park as well. So I try to target those trade shows that are driving production, and that may be locations, that may be a television conference called NAPT, NAB. There's a wide variety of different kinds of shows, but we typically participate with the City of Orlando's film office or the State of Florida's film office, because we work hand in hand. It's location and studio typically for a producer to consider Florida.
How often, getting back on the website, how often do you update the website with unique content and just new, fresh material? Because we talked a lot to the students about keeping the website fresh with content. And how important do you think that is?
Now more than ever, and we've kind of fallen short with that over the last few years. The good news is we were busy with our staff, so we didn't contract that piece of work out. We've made a change this year, and we've been able to do that with a vendor to help us provide those kinds of services. We now know that tool is a much more quick response as opposed to just an informational tool for us. So we are trying to create a much more timely as to what might be new on the lot, something that may affect one particular producer over the other. And the way I mean by that is we've decided to target producers, and that may be our traditional film producer, our commercial producer, for instance, which is a very large part of our business, especially in the winter, as you might imagine. And then we are targeting more of our show and media content producer. So there's going to be a fairly dramatic change of what our website looks like today and what it will look like within the next, we're hoping to have it online by the end of the summer.
And this is a big question. What would you say to someone who says, well, especially like in your case, I don't sell anything online, why do I need a website?
Well, I think we're all selling something. There's absolutely not a doubt in my mind. Your website is who you are, and again, it's been a realization of sorts for us to say now, this is our tool. This is to reach those producers and we have a very loyal client base, which is nice. Once they've been to us and they've experienced, what we have to offer, they come back, which is wonderful. That's what you want. But you also want to touch the new producer, those that really aren't aware, and you think, well, my gosh, it's Universal Studios. You know what they've got. You don't. I mean, you don't know unless you've targeted them, and the website's the best way to do that. So it is without a doubt a selling tool. I think that we have to be cognizant of the time that's spent on the website, however, and be quick, be smart, be fast, be quick, get the content out to your potential client as quickly as you can. And certainly the whole navigation piece is important. Don't send them off somewhere else, get them where they need to be very quickly.
Yeah, we always stress with the students, don't get caught up in just trying to make the site too flashy and artsy. It has to be first and foremost functional and easy to use. So it's good to hear you say that.
And you may not know where your client's going to pick up your website. Yeah. BlackBerry, for instance, is not going to be able to handle necessarily you know, a large content, a lot of different kinds of software, you know, intros and things like that. So be cognizant of that too, and that it really needs to represent who you are very quickly.
And one thing, just to kind of close on, how important do you think the ongoing, you know, NBC and Universal, they're already mega brands, how important do you think it is, though, to continue advertising and pushing and selling the brand over and above all for your group?
Well, I'd like to just divert a little bit to Universal Orlando and the website for our parks. It has changed the dynamics of our company. Being able to know when our ticket sales are hitting, you know, what we've been able to sell, it's a huge tool for us to understand who our market is, when they're coming, what that impact's going to be. So it's just an incredible tool, and I think the competition out there is such that, you know, that's the timeliness. You know, it's certainly in the consumer sites as well. For us, you know, I think the most important thing is that we have provided a really good thumbnail sketch of who we are. My purpose is to drive them to the website to see who we are, and then subsequently pick up the phone and call us. I have an 800 number. I think it's important.
It sounds like you guys have really started to incorporate knowing what's going on as far as with ticket sales and things like that, and converting that into analytical information as far as knowing how many people are going to be there for the shows, for audiences and things like that, right?
Yeah, we've integrated a nice piece to Universal visitation to the site. The opportunity to see a live television show. It's a very unique opportunity that not many studios have, such as we have. And by timing those particular audience-based shows, for instance, we're hosting a season of Guts for Nick at Night this summer. And we'll be laying out a very nice opportunity for visitation to the Universal Orlando website to plan your trip, purchase your tickets to Universal Orlando, and have an opportunity to see a live television show. So there's a great motivation for producers to consider utilizing our facilities because of the wide reach that we have to bring in really excellent audiences, to help with contestant search opportunities, things like that. But the Universal guest would like to see television, and we're going to provide that tool to them so they can plan their trip accordingly.
Yeah, it's a win-win for both, because your park kind of provides a built-in audience, and the audience gets a free TV show and things like that. I really appreciate your time, Pam, and I think this has been a great informational tool for the students, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Keep an eye out for our new website.
Thank you for watching this session, and I look forward to seeing you soon in our online environment. Thank you.